Welcome to Chris and Carlette Live, a podcast about life, love, and overcoming obstacles. Each week, we discuss the good, the bad, and the indifferent of life's interruptions. Now, here's your host, Chris and Carlette.
Keep believing, don't go stressing, keep it moving. God, we're resting, here to help you, here to bless you. With God on our side, CNC Life.
Hey y'all, got a little feedback, but I just got rid of it. Today is the day that the Lord has made,
yes,
and we will rejoice. This is April 3rd, 2023.
I know we just finished March.
Yes.
Like, poof.
It just went by. You had 3 birthdays in March.
Right. The first quarter of the year, done.
Yes, done.
What have you gotten accomplished?
Right.
I mean, that's what I asked myself. Seriously, I had that whole thought on the 31st. What have we done?
Yes. And yesterday was Palm Sunday.
Yes. I know people y'all had your palm leaves. You was waving them in the air.
Yeah, the ladies had them hats. And then they're going to have hats next week. Hats this week.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing a hat.
Oh, okay. You just got braids. You just got your hair braided on Saturday.
Yeah.
So. Hey, guys, we have a great show.
Yes.
Hold on. Besides the great show, we're going to hold on. Wait a second. Go ahead and baby, address the peoples for me.
Well, listen. This month, first of all, even before we get there, go to YouTube and subscribe. I'm telling you, our days on Facebook going live are limited. We coming to the end of that and going to be totally YouTube. We will use Facebook for marketing purposes only and be strictly YouTube. Now, on Facebook, we have over 600 followers. I need you all to go over to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube page, Chris and Carlette Live. You can find it there. But this month is dedicated to the arts in April. And we are starting this first show to the art of acting. Okay?
Yes.
The art of acting. And it is an art. Everybody cannot do it. But I know I can. Because y'all should have saw me in the play when back when I was in okay, we're not gonna talk about that. But I was good. Mm-hmm. And I was even in the drama club. I'm just saying I was. But it's not on that level. You know, I'm just saying the person we have tonight is a professional. Okay. She's beyond drama club. Hear me good. So
yes. I'm trying to find something right quick.
You trying to find something?
Yeah, hold on. Let me see.
I just want to know, and you all can put it in the comments. Anybody start preparing their dinner for Sunday already? Like, are you marinating something? Are you going to do Christmas all over again with a turkey? I mean, and a ham. Everybody going to have that Easter ham. But I'm just saying, what are you doing? Have you started grocery shopping? Have you get everything mapped out? I can actually say this year, I have nothing planned. Can you believe that? Yes. I plan to be at a restaurant. I'm just saying. I have nothing planned. Nothing's cooking. Haven't shopped not one thing. Mm-hmm. So just saying. I am looking forward to sitting at somebody's restaurant saying, I would like to order this. Mm-hmm. Can I have a refill on this? Thank you.
Yes. That's true.
Okay. Okay, our banter is not working.
Yeah, no, I had to find something right quick. I am so sorry.
Did you find it?
Yeah, I found it.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm so glad.
Our guest is none other than a young lady we met when I reached out for a particular reason that you all will find out shortly. But I reached out to her, and we've been friends ever since. We've become not only business friends, but friends. Like
Right.
Let me just read her bio before we bring her along. About Nikki LaShae, a stage and screen actress known for her versatility as much as her charm. Nikki LaShae's most recent credit includes network television, national commercial broadcasts, and leading roles in independent films. With a performance career that is still blooming, her filmography includes award-winning films where she has earned Best Actress nominations. Additionally, these films have been featured on a must-watch list on widely recognized industry resources and have gotten mass distribution. She has performed on prestigious stages such as the famous Fox Theater, the Sangra, whatever, I don't know how to pronounce that word, SAENGR, whatever, theater. Maybe she can help us pronounce that when she comes on. And the 14th Street Playhouse for a sold-out audience. Nikki LaShae is a daughter of the South, having roots in Jackson, Mississippi. After attending Georgia State University, where she majored in theater, her career began picking up as a multi-hyphenate artist. I think I pronounced that word right. Appearing in international print ads as a model, performing on studio movie sets, and touring with artists as a dancer and a host and spokesperson for a global brand and live events all over. She said nation, but I'm gonna say world.
All
We
right.
want to bring along
Come on.
none
help us.
other than
Welcome.
Nikki. Here, there we go. Let's do
Hold
this
on, Nikki.
one.
Hold on.
Got to get this volume. Hold on. Let me get this audio together. Normally, we had technical difficulties every now and then, but we're straight. So we're going to start that. Nikki LaShae, what's going on?
Hey, thank you. Thank you for that fabulous intro. And yeah, all is well, man. Just taking it day by day and being spirit-led about it. So.
Good. Man, we are so happy. We had a little audio issues, but we're good now. But we are so happy that you came today to join us. I feel honored that you took the time out. Because you traveling from Atlanta to LA to Atlanta.
She's bi-coastal.
Bi-coastal for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, man. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be asked to talk in an expert capacity about what I do. So thank you.
Yes, you are welcome. So we want to dive into just the beginning, like where are you from and how you got started in this industry?
Well, I am from Jackson, Mississippi originally. I was raised in Atlanta, Georgia, and I had my start in arts as a writer. I wrote poetry when I was young, and then I got into athletics, and I became a classically trained musician at around the same time. And so I started art very early, and then I was introduced to the art of acting around age 16 when they wouldn't let me graduate high school early. I went to Shiloh High School, and I had to fill my curriculum up with just some extra classes, and theater was one of them. And that was the most free I felt, and something just awakened inside of me, and I just couldn't let it go. So it really just changed the course of my life, and thus began the journey of my acting experience.
Wow. Now besides acting, you rode horses, I think.
Yeah, I'm a country girl. So yeah. I rode horses growing up, and I ride them to this day. I love them. I love animals. So.
Yeah, we've been talking about getting Chloe a horse, and maybe you can help her train her to ride
Yeah.
horses.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Why you looking like that,
I love
Carlette?
horses.
I'm just waiting for y'all to get to acting.
You want to bypass the horse talk. Hey, if Chloe wants a horse, she will get her a horse. And there was silence. Wow, look at the shade. Did you have some questions for Nikki? Go ahead. You started off, Carlette.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay. So when you first started, like, what were some of your challenges?
When I first started, I would say, I think the challenge with anybody when they first start is just getting the experience, because you're kind of caught in a catch-22 in the beginning, right? Like, you need the favor in the trust in order to get the role, but then you also need more roles to get people to trust that you can handle it. And so, but oddly enough, I didn't really experience a lot of challenges in the beginning of my career. I had representation for a long time. I started out with representation. I worked as a model and I worked as a professional dancer. And working as a professional dancer got me on really large sets like Scary Movie 5, The Identical, The Three Stooges. And so I was able to start my resume with some really valuable credits in the beginning. And as a professional dancer, I danced for the Neo Soul Circus. I danced at the Fox Theater behind Diggy Simmons, and when him and Jacob Lattimore were on tour. And I did an industrial for Verifone, and I just had a lot of really solid credits in adjacent fields that allowed me to have a very healthy start in acting. I was already a performer. They just needed to see that I can act. And once they saw that I can act, plus them already knowing that I had experience on large sets, it set me off to a really nice start. So I then began booking independent projects and being referred for those projects as well. And I think that the challenges probably come right in the middle, like right before you, like right while you're working on your break, if you will, so that you can go more mainstream. That's probably where my challenge came about.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So as your skills progressed, what were, like, as you get more seasoned in your art, how did the challenges change?
Ooh. Yeah, because you learn, you set out knowing your why. At least I knew my why. But then as you get deeper into your career, if you're doing it right, I believe that you also get deeper into yourself, and you start to learn things about yourself, because you really have to, because this is a marathon, and in order to sustain, to have something, a career of longevity, you begin to start to peel back those layers and really get deeper into your whys, and then your questions. Like, how do I say this? Some people find out that the work is validating for them. Like, that was my experience. If I have to have a vulnerable moment, I'm gonna just take it back to me, because it's my journey. But I think what I found is that you learn about the journey. Like, you see the surface level, you see like the red carpets, you see what you see on TV, and then you see the fun on set. But then there are layers to this whole experience, this whole business, and you start to learn that as you get deeper and you get more exposed to it, and that in turn helps you. It changes you in a way, because you have to navigate in a way that's comfortable for yourself, and that's in alignment with how you want to be seen as an artist, as a person in this business. So that's A. And then B, another part of that challenge is really reestablishing your why and making sure that you're not working from a place of needing validation. Are you validated by the yes? And if so, then we need to go back to the drawing board, because it's really just about doing the work. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the yes may not come for a year. Sometimes the yeses come back to back. And we're in this great space now where You just really need to be able to say yes to yourself. And I think that's what's most important to me. And when I have come across challenges, it has taught me how to say yes to myself. And it's a constant practice. And I think that that's something that every artist can benefit from. Just constantly affirm yourself and say yes to yourself, and don't limit yourself on, don't put, if anybody is going to limit you, don't let it be you, you know? So.
Wow.
Now, I hear you say this, and I'm gonna tell you. Anytime I think of someone in this art, the art of acting, being an actor, actress, the memorization of these lines, and so it's like I've seen people who write it out, who constantly write it. That's how they memorize. Some record themselves reading it and then listen it back constantly. What is your way?
That's a very good question. I know a lot of people struggle with memorization. My way is actually to tap into the feeling, because we say words based off of how we feel. And I feel like if I can align with the feeling of the experience that the character is going through, then the words come because it's coming from a real place, a real feeling place. And so that's how I do it. I used to do a lot of writing to memorize, and sometimes I'll still do that, but I kind of blend it all together. So I'll write to more so internalize it, and I sit with it. I do a lot of sitting with it and letting it just kind of melt into me. And it's a process that I've just developed that works for me. But a part of it is like writing it, but the bigger part of it is sitting with it and really understanding what I'm going through and what I'm feeling. And the words it's so easy to memorize from that space because I've created authenticity in it.
So you're immersing yourself in that role, becoming one with the role. Do you ever find yourself maybe spending time either with a certain occupation or doing research, depending on what the role is?
Yeah, always research, because I mean, there's a thousand different ways. Like, if I'm playing, like, I had a role recently where I needed to play a woman who was a mother, who lost her children because she was a drug addict. There are a lot of components to that. I'm not a mom yet, and so I don't have that experience. And then secondary is the loss of my kids because of a habit that as Nikki LaShae, I've never had. So there's research into, like, what are some of the patterns that a person who abuses drugs have physically? What are some of the ways that their physicality shifts and changes? As a former, ballet dancer, like, I have a certain posture, but a person who has maybe lost hope is like deconditioned physically, is a little weak, like what are their movements, and also, like, how do I feel, like, deep down inside, what is that brokenness, and how does that play out in my physicality, and how does that play out in in my speech. And then when I'm talking to my child, how does that inform how I communicate with my child? Is there a disconnect? How deep is that disconnect? What are my triggers? So those are all the considerations that, that come with doing research and connecting that to, like, the human spirit, So.
Okay. All right. So with saying all of that, and you immerse yourself, you're doing research, you're doing your due diligence, okay? So as any other field, we as Black women may have to do double. So is it tough for number one, being Black and being a woman in this business? Black and a woman, then a Black woman.
Yeah. So I think that We can't even deny that, right? So it certainly has its challenges, and I'll speak to this point in two ways. It has its challenges because of the world in which we exist, right? It has its challenges because of the way we can be, hypersexualized, and because of that, Black women are often put in positions to be taken advantage of, and because of the roles, and a lot of us are fighting for the same roles because they're very particular. When they want a Black woman, it has to be a specific Black woman, and then there's a certain interpretation of a Black woman that's held by people that are non-Black that are doing the casting. So they have a certain way that they think Black women are supposed to speak, look, show up, even down to the features, even down to the skin tone, and even down to the hair texture, even down to the body shape. You know what I'm saying? So there's a certain, way that I would say that there's more diversity within the community of women who are Black that we can absolutely stand to showcase more of, for all the aforementioned, reasons. And so you have that part. But then I also think that our strength is, and I think I learned this from like Denzel Washington, like you just don't walk around wearing that though. You're aware of who you are, but in me being proud of who I am, I don't walk around wearing it like it's a problem or a hindrance. And I think that is a major shift in the mindset that helps to support major shifts in one's career. Now, we can't control everything, but I certainly think it helps us to control what we can control and to live our life, the rest of the time. So that's my answer on that.
Because we look at the Oscars. It was last couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And how the role for best actress Angela Bassett, we felt got robbed of an Oscar.
Right.
Would have been her. She has many nominations,
Right.
but she's never won.
Right.
And
which is the same for Jamie Lee Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Lee has never won either.
Really?
Yep.
So, like, who do you like? Could that be perceived as the Academy picking someone of a non-colorized background, ethnicity? Would that be considered kind of, not racist, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
overlooked.
Yeah, I completely understand. I think that the first thing we have to acknowledge is that a lot of the roles that are award worthy just were not available to Black women for a very long time. And just recently those roles became available, but still you don't see them as much. Like if we have to take the amount of projects that carry that type of a role that's available for white women or non-Black women versus the amount for Black women, it still is not equal, right? And then when there are roles available for Black women, there are like 5. It's like a certain amount at a time that are being considered for those roles. So that's the first thing that we kind of just kicked the door open for that. And, I think it'll continue to increase, but, who knows? Angela Bassett has been doing work for a good long time,
Yes.
I think that one thing that's obvious is that it's that old kind of sentiment that, when you're Black, you have to work twice as hard to get half as much.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, as I've grown older, I've been able to witness that we have not, as much as people say, oh, that was the past or that was history, there's still so much work to be done when it comes to like bias in every, industry that exists in America, especially Hollywood, when it comes to representation and pay and role availability and how Black women are being allowed to be represented, you know, and pushed out into the world, you know, when someone else is holding the pen or someone else is kind of guarding the gate, you know. So I think that there's a lot of work to be done with that. I just think we have to keep pushing, and I think that being an independent creator certainly helps to offset that. But then we have to get to the conversation of, you know, funding opportunities, you know, for filmmakers who are able to create more opportunities for these talented actors, you know. But I think that the Academy is the Academy, and I don't know how beneficial it is for us to be so concerned again over something that we cannot change. You know, it has its roots, and I think it'll continue to evolve. But you know, should we be so concerned about rushing it? I don't know. I think that we just have to continue to create great art. And you see how people like champion and show up for Angela. She's really undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it'll be nice to have an award to validate that, to be acknowledged for your art. But I don't know how necessary it is anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with everything, with technology and
Right.
and the public being so accessible, you know, these days.
Wow. So let's get back to like when we talk about arts and we talk about the art of acting. You have now. Can you differentiate skill from an art, and then what shapes, like if you had a blank palette and you were to paint and just, you know, what would that technique, that art be that you would paint with? Like what type of brushes and, you know, what type of art? I hope I'm conveying what I'm seeing, but what is necessary when we talk about art of acting other than the skill, but what's in it that involves the arts?
Okay, so if I understand your question correctly, other than the skill, like being talented, you mean like
Yeah.
naturally talented? I believe it's honesty, and that means that allowing the truth of the story to be told without any part of you holding it back. You know, every life has a voice and deserves for its voice to be used. And I feel that no story is new. Some stories just were not able to be told for whatever reason. And when you are an artist, you are a vessel of sorts for ideas to flow through you and out to the world. And as an actor, my responsibility is to be honest about that story, to tell it honestly, because you never know who that story is supposed to reach and what seeds you might be planting, and that's by, you know,
Mm-hmm.
communicating that story. So I don't interrupt that process. I lay myself bare, if you will. I make myself available, if you will, and allow the skill of acting to support the honesty,
Mm-hmm.
so that it can kind of do what it needs to do to get out. You know, that includes like, okay, that includes like not judging, you know, the character, you know, the woman who lost her kids because she became addicted to drugs and she sells her body, you know, in the
Mm-hmm.
corner. You know, her voice is still worth hearing. Her story is still worth telling,
Mm-hmm.
truthfully, honestly, without me judging her and without me worrying about how the world is going to see me, because it's not about me. It's about the story,
Mm-hmm.
right? So honesty.
Wow. If you were to did you have anything, Carl? If you were to if someone was about to had a desire to act, what would be some of the top skills that they must
Oh, that's
have?
good. That's good.
Yeah. If they have a desire to act, top skills. One is not even really a skill, but it's important. Be fearless. Be absolutely fearless when you act. You know, when it comes down to skills, you got to just work that muscle.
Mhm.
Acting is a muscle. You
Mhm.
know, it's like how I'm me right now. It's like activating the actor. The actor part of me is an activation, you know, so turning me off and allowing the actor to experience this life. And I think the comfort and being available to do that as an artist is a skill.
Mhm.
It's a skill that is practiced by doing, by continuously acting and performing, and just getting it in your system, your body. So I think the repetition of the art is necessary to develop the skill of being able to activate the actor in you.
Mhm.
So that's the main thing. And of course, you know, you take classes to assist you with script analysis and things of that nature. There are technical things that are important, you know, to acting, like being able to analyze a character or being able to analyze a scene, because we've lived life, but these characters, in order to communicate their lives, we have to kind of figure out a way to quickly study them before we get them, you know, in our bones. So what does this person want out of this whole project? What do they want out of this scene? Who do they want it from? Why do they want it? To what degree do they want it? You know, and what are they willing to do to get it? You know, like, so you have all these ways that you analyze so you can get in the head and the heart of the character. And you know, those are skills that you learn by like going to classes and whatnot, you know.
So yeah, so it's very important. If you all are an actress or desiring to be an actor or an actress, make sure you go take some classes, some skills, or some acting classes. So, speaking of which, when we first moved down here, this was probably about in 2013. Atlanta was just on the cusp of being what we so deemed the Black Hollywood, and they were bringing more and more films to Atlanta. And I was talking to somebody, I don't know who I was talking to, but they said that the directors, the studios had to go out to LA to get talent, and because the talent here in Atlanta was not at the level that they needed, so they had to bring in, you know, actors and actresses. How is that now? Or is that true back then, and then how is it now?
Yeah, it's a true sentiment. You know, LA and New York, they're old school, you know, so I think it makes sense that they're going to get their core talent in front of and behind the camera from those places. And the other markets are like ancillary to that. That's been the case for a long time. And I think it's gotten better, but it still holds true for the most part. Um, but I think that what kind of shifts that dynamic a little bit is independent productions being able to book their leads in respective markets as well. And, you know, pioneers like Tyler Perry,
Mm.
who, you know, has a lot of homegrown talent here. And studios are starting to open up offices here and agencies as well. So we'll see, you know, how the dynamics shift in the future. Yeah, I still feel like LA and New York are the primary market. And I'm not sure if that'll ever change. Atlanta's new. Atlanta's new. It's shiny. It's doing well. But when it comes down to some high or top tier roles, I think that they're going to go with, but not because there's not talent here. I think that maybe in the beginning it was true because this market was not known for it. But now that there's been some time and people have been moving here from other markets, I think that this market is growing in its competitiveness. And there is talent that can carry some lead roles here. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how about this? What would you do if you got a call from Tyler Perry?
I'd celebrate. I'd be happy. He's continuously growing and getting better and expanding, and he's making smart moves. And I would absolutely be thrilled.
Mm-hmm. Wow. What speaking of Tyler Perry, what are some of the directors, like what was one of your best directors that you've worked for? And then a two-part question. And then when it comes to directors, how do you create that synergy between you and the director?
I think that I'll answer it backwards. How you create synergy between myself as the actor and the director is to really trust the director. So I show up having done my work, and so I feel confident when I'm bringing my character on set, but then I also trust the director to lead me and guide me if there are any adjustments to be made. But typically, good directors trust good actors, and I've been able to really do my thing in most cases, on set. The second part of that question, really the first part, is one of the directors that I love working with, Crystal Roberson.
Mm-hmm.
She does a lot of like network TV stuff, and I worked with her on Bigger. It's a TV show that was on for like 2 seasons on BET, and I'm just a fangirl over like women in film, and she just is such a boss, like on set, and she just knows what she wants, and she keeps the shit moving, and she's personable, and so it's like I felt like she gave direction just extremely well, and I understood it, and I also understood when I did something that she liked. She allowed me to flow, she gave me room to play, and cool with that, and that was it. And she also made sure I had my coverage when I had that co-star role. And sometimes with co-star roles, you may or may not get your coverage, and so that was really dope. I would love to work with her again.
I'm looking up her IMDb right now.
She's a hitter. Yeah, she's good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, All American, 2 episodes. Okay.
She's always working. Yeah, always working.
Wow.
Greenleaf, 2 episodes. Come on. I am not mad.
Yep.
So let's go back to how should and we're kind of like all over the place with these questions though, but I think that they'll help people that are viewing. So the initial, like how you get, I think you and I had a discussion, like when it comes to a table read, a lot of those table reads can actually turn into roles for some of the actors and actresses. So how do you go in preparing for a table read, and explain what a table read is for those that may not be knowledgeable?
Okay. A table read it's so like funny because it's like almost literally the word, right? But yeah, so it's when production and cast is sitting at a table with a script, reading through the script so that the production team can hear it out loud and have room to make any kind of adjustments, and so that the whole team can develop chemistry as well and hear themselves out loud. So that's the point and purpose of table reads. And what was the second part of that question? What was the second part of the question? What is
how do you
read?
Prepare for it?
Oh, boom. So I know how I prepare for a table read is I always perform. Always perform. That's what I do. That would be my advice to anybody. Like never slight a table read at all. People have been fired after table reads,
wow.
and people have been like promoted, after table reads. And so I treat my table reads like performances, and I allow my characters voices or whatever I can do or emote to just be authentic from that space. I don't overdo it. I just play it authentically, but I don't slight the table read
Now, see,
at all.
You kind of just answered the question just came to my mind. Like, how do you well, first of all, have you ever been to a table read or even a set and there was no chemistry? Or just it wasn't a good vibe in the room?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. On both occasions, and I've been on sets where it's been a little difficult to get through. I've been on sets that maybe in retrospect I should have just walked off. Like
wow.
there was one project I remember I should have just walked off. I should just so you have to maintain your boundaries too as an artist. You can't just let people treat you any kind of way. But I've had some of the most beautiful experiences and developed some lifelong relationships on sets as well. But yeah, you definitely get the spectrum, from at table reads and on sets as well.
Wow. Speaking of being on set, we were talking a couple weeks ago, and
she was around some big wigs.
Yeah.
Oh.
She said she shot a commercial. I'm gonna give you 3 guesses. Who was?
Don't.
Oh, I can't say. It's not out yet.
You can say adjectives.
Adjective. Okay, so I'll say the adjectives, but we just can't say the name because the commercial is not out. We had to sign an NDA, I guess, But no, I'm just saying because the commercial. I'm just going to say
oral NDA.
Yeah. So
verbal NDA.
So this person is a working actor.
So it's a man. You said actor.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
All the women love this actor.
Oh, I it's one name that just popped in my head.
He's
Let me text you.
He's chiseled, to say the least, like I'm about to be.
Oh wait, well then I take that back.
It was a great experience. He's a nice person, and I really can't wait for the commercial to come out to see if I'm showing. But honestly, it was just an amazing experience.
Did you get paid?
Yes, I will get paid. That's the main part, right? Yes.
Come on.
Absolutely.
No, okay. So with something like that, with a commercial, do you get paid every time it pops up on TV, or you just get a flat fee?
Yes.
Ooh,
You get residual. So it's nice. Yeah. It's
Did
nice.
you see my name?
No, that wasn't him.
Oh.
It wasn't Denzel.
Oh.
Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm.
But you said chiseled.
Yeah, he's chiseled like I'm about to be.
So when it comes out, you'll know, and it should come out in a couple weeks. So.
Okay. Let us know. Text me.
Absolutely.
Other than acting, what else do you do in the film industry?
I do some writing. Some writing, and by default, I do some producing because I just want to tell good stories, And so in between my work as a performer, I'll write for other people, and I'll just write stories that come to me. And I'm in this space where I just want to create. I just want to keep creating, and so I'm in production on 2 shorts that I wrote, and I am wrapping up on a feature based off of a very dynamic book that's out there.
So, for example,
Chris
and Carlette settle in the car, unsure of what just happened. A few beats of silence, and then I don't think he knows what he's talking about. I don't trust him. I don't believe him. Carlette sits silently, still stunned, not emotional, more stoic. Chris starts the car and begins to drive off. Seems like anyone can be a doctor. I wouldn't be surprised if he got an online certificate. That's it. Interesting.
I'm starting to wonder what was going on myself. Oh.
Y'all, we got it copywritten. So anyway,
I know that's right.
That's only a few lines of the script she's writing for us. And it's a phenomenal script, you all. We did a table read for half of it, and we've gotten like the actors. We had, some A-rate actors on the table read, and, they gave us like, and then some other people that Nikki brought along that were, seasoned and stuff, including herself. And they were just like, they were stunned about, how well written and the whole concept behind the script. And I can't wait. We have to finalize. We're working on the final second half of it, and hopefully have a table read, whenever Nikki's time is free from traveling back and forth to LA to Atlanta, So, but, I'll wait my turn. I'll wait.
Thank you guys for trusting with your story, man. It's amazing to see how your work hits people. And so you're right, like the powerful like feedback from people who are there and reading the parts. It's gold. We got something gold, and it's gold because it's based. All I did was interpret, you guys' lives, and so I think that it was great from the beginning. You guys gave me something really great to work with, and I just added my, touch to it, and I'm just excited about where you guys' story is going to go. I really am.
Thank you. And do you do coaching?
If somebody asks me, I just don't I don't promote it or anything. I tend to I just try to help out. Somebody asks me a question. If somebody wants some coaching, then I'll do it. I'm tough. I used to be a dance instructor, and I used to be a personal trainer in my former life, and I'm that tough on myself, and so I kind of I approach everything that way. So if you come to me, I'm going to assume that you really want it, and I'm gonna treat you like that. But I will, but more often than not, I just, try to help out, somebody just asked me a question.
So if someone wanted to get in contact with you about, writing the script or helping them through this whole journey of, through this film industry and acting and the art of acting, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, you can follow my DM, official Nikki LaShae, or you can go to my website and contact me that way, officialnikkilashae.com. And if I can't, help you directly, then I always know some fabulous people who are coaches and photographers and producers. And I have an amazing network of very talented people. So either myself can help, or I'll point you in the right direction. Each one teach one.
Good. I got one more important question, though, that I failed to ask you. And going back to some of the statements that you mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show, like for those who move out to LA or what have you, and they're on the grind and they just can't seem to break through. Also, the emotional drain that it may have on someone, and then you just see them in the spiral. They just start spiraling. Then they, I'm not sure if suicide is high in the acting world, especially in LA with the cost of living and stuff. But how do you redirect, and how do you push that emotional drain, that rejection and that defeated defeated sense of being? Like, how do you redirect that and strive for the positive when every time you knock on somebody's door, you don't get an answer?
That's good.
I think You know, what I've learned is that there are so many variables in this business that have nothing to do with you, like nothing to do with you. And you just have to control what you can, which is how you show up. Like, am I doing my best? And am I really good? Is this really what I want to do? And if you got all those boxes checked, then you know you just perform and you move on. You perform and you move on and you live your life. And my biggest lesson is to validate myself. That's what I've learned. I used to be so validated by my work, and when it got silent for me, I took that personally. And I learned a lot from that experience. And I learned a lot about my attitude as well, because what I realized is that that was an opportunity and was for me to level up. So, you know, you're always supposed to level up. But when it's quiet, that's a grand opportunity for you to experience more life. We're in this beautiful, as an actor, the best study you can have, even better than classes, is life. Go live life. Go absorb, see, experience life. That is your best teacher. And so when it's quiet, I trust God. That's the first thing. I trust that God is not going to let an opportunity pass me by. That's for me. I trust that God has heard me and God wants the best for me, and He wants the best and biggest for me. And I trust that. And so if I trust that, even when it's quiet, I know that something's being prepared for me. And so I think that you have to find that too. You know, what's your foundation? What's your spiritual foundation? What's your foundation as a person? And you got to stand on that. And so that when somebody tells you no, or when it's a little quiet, that you don't take it to mean something that it really doesn't, which could mean that you're not good enough or this, that, and the other. That's not the truth. Don't buy into the lie. You know, God may want you just to live a little bit more life, find a little bit more balance. And so I would say to anybody who may be struggling with a no, or feeling like a little confused during this time, a little sad, is to really make sure that you're loving on yourself. Because all that means is that, okay, you're seeking something outside yourself, and that's not the way we're supposed to function. You're supposed to get it from the inside first, and everything on the outside is just extra, you know.
Right.
So you always have to be happy. You always have to be in gratitude, because there's a quote I saw that said that you have to remember that the moment that you're in now was once something that you prayed for. Stay in gratitude. Stay in gratitude, man. Do you have a place to live, a car, food to eat? You know, like, I think when we lose gratitude, we start losing things. We start, you know, like losing things because we're not aware of what we're blessed with, so we lose it. So just stay in gratitude. You may not get the audition. I mean, you may not book the audition, but maybe you book the room so somebody remembers you. So when they do have more control, they want to call you in directly for it, you know. But even if you got an audition, that's a blessing in itself. So many people don't even get auditions, and they're praying for auditions. Just let me get auditions, and you're auditioning. That's something to be thankful for. Some people may not be getting auditions, but they have an agent. Some people are praying for an agent, praying for representation. Can't get an agent to save their life. You got an agent that believes in you, that wanted to sign you to their roster, and is taking time to pitch you. You know what I'm saying? Some people can't afford acting classes. You may not have an agent, but you can afford acting classes, and you in it, and you're building a network, and you're getting to perform. Treat those acting classes like you are on Broadway. On Broadway.
Wow.
Just be thankful for every step, and trust and believe and expect things to get better for you. But you got to show up first before anybody else does. Nobody else is going to show up before you. Nobody else, don't expect anybody else to show up and tell you that you're good. You got to do it first, and then everybody else will join you.
Wow, that's powerful.
That was.
That's powerful. That's good.
It's almost like we could take what you just said and it'd be like a positive moment.
No.
That somebody can just could play every morning in really in any field. No, ain't no nurse better than me. No, I'm just playing. But no, that was good. That was good.
Well, I know the hour is late, and we definitely would like to thank you for joining our show, the Chris and Carlette Live Show.
And tell us how they can, like, say, what if somebody says, can you give me virtual coaching sessions? How can they get a hold to you?
Yeah. Go to my website, officialnikkilashae.com, and there's a page. I think it says book now. It'll tell you how to reach out to me to schedule sessions. Right. So I'll take some acting sessions now. Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome.
And you know, I'm just glad we got a moment to spend with you, because once you make it big, then you know it's gonna be hard to get in contact with you.
Recorded.
Right. We got proof that Nikki LaShae was on our show.
Listen.
Yeah, y'all my cousins.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we thank you again, but
it was a pleasure, man.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure. Love y'all.
Yeah, love you too. So
I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your time, for real.
Yeah. And y'all look out for Nikki LaShae. Don't make it big.
Nikki.
Yes.
Don't put no Y on there. Nikki.
Right. Well, all right. We'll talk to you. We'll call you after the show has ended. All right.
Bye, y'all.
All right. Bye. That was powerful.
That's a lot of information. I mean, if that is the direction you want to go, that's the direction you want to go. That's the field you're in, and you needed some motivation. You just needed some tips. She just gave you all a mouthful. Yeah. So listen, we appreciate you all. We're not going to hold you long. That was a lot. That was a lot to take in. I even encourage, you watch the replay and take some notes, because she gave you some great information.
She gave some nuggets. And if you like this information, not that if you like, I know you like the information, make sure you subscribe and click the like button on YouTube. Please go to YouTube right now. We need subscribers on YouTube.
Right. It's like 600 and something on Facebook. Y'all just go across the street, the digital street, to YouTube, Chris and Carlette Live page, and subscribe. And hit the bell so you can be notified.
And also, we're speaking it into an existence.
Yes.
We want to be on XM radio. Y'all, XM, anybody got some connects? We want to be at least, I don't care what time of day it is on XM. It could be in the afternoon or early morning. We just want to be a guest. We want to be a host on XM. I think we come with a wealth of connections and a wealth of just content. We've been doing this for 3 years now, and we want to be on XM radio. We're speaking it. Radio 1, get in contact with us. Carlette, you want to close us out?
Listen, we appreciate you all. Thank you for listening. Again, follow us and subscribe to us on YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook. However, we will not be going live after a certain date. We have a date somewhat in mind. We're just trying to solidify that. But listen, no matter what, stay before the Lord. Pray, call upon him while he may be found and while he is near. Okay. And it's so much to pray for, guys. A lot has happened in this week. It is so much to pray for. If you do not know, I said this week, I mean last week. If you do not know what to pray for, turn on the news. It's plenty, plenty. And no matter what, pray for yourself, pray for your family. Hey, pray for us. Okay. We appreciate you. We love you, and we thank you.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us this week on Chris and Carlette Live. Make sure to visit our website, chrisandcarlette.com. If you're on Facebook, share this broadcast. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our show. You may also find us on Apple Podcast, where you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. Let us stay in contact with you by texting CNC Live to 474747. That's CNC Live to 474747.
CNC Live.